All right, welcome back for our latest edition of Tour Weekly. We have Aaron Baddeley here. Aaron won at Riviera this week and played really well throughout. So I just want to talk a little bit about his iron swing, and he's been making quite a few changes in his golf swing with his new or old coach. He actually got away from for a little bit. Now he's back with his coach. They've kind of reunited and worked on some things in the golf swing, and I just thought I'd talk about some things I was looking at here in his golf swing. There's a couple different ones that I've found, but just thought I'd talk about some different things that I like in the golf swing, and kind of tell you guys what he did so well. For those of you who don't know what Tour Weekly is, it's just something I kind of came up with and designed to highlight what the tour players do each week, talk about what they do well and what they do in order to win on the PGA Tour. So, as always, I like to talk about the good stuff that they do, and so I'm going to put a few lines here just to kind of show you how he takes the club back and things like that. And then I'm also going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about length of swing, because I feel like that's one of the things that he does so well, is he doesn't bring the club back too far, and I feel like a lot of students tend to get a little caught up in how far back should I bring the club, and I think that varies for everybody. But I wanted to also show that this is a tour player that's able to hit tour quality shots with kind of a shorter backswing. The one on the left here, I'm actually doing something a little different where I'm using a dual video, showing you guys in two different screens. One's a face-on, this one here, and one's down the line view. So if you hear me reference those. But I'll go ahead and put a couple lines on here. Draw a line for plane on the one on the left. And I usually draw a little bit of stuff just to watch motion throughout the swing. This really doesn't have much to do with his posture, but it just make those a little bit bigger so you can see them. But this really doesn't have much to do with his posture, his setup. It's just some lines I draw usually when I'm analyzing video. Shows you how he takes that club back and gets it back pretty close to that plane line. But this is really what I wanted to talk about, was that his transition at the top is somewhere around here. And if you look at the club is not even to parallel. So, and I'll show you on this one here, as he takes this club back. There we go. You can see that he's created quite an angle here with his wrist, setting the wrist, but he hasn't broken this left wrist down here. He's managed to keep this left wrist here, and this left arm rather, left elbow, very, very straight. He's extended, and by extended I mean there's quite a bit of space between the club and his head, and his hands and his head. So what that allows is for him to extend away from the golf ball, maintain that width or distance with his hands away from his head, and then from here you're just going to see him maintain that angle, drop it down, and hit through the ball. And I think what a lot of people get away from is they look at the Bubba Wattses and the John Daly's and the long hitters, and they really start to see that the long swing is the way to go. Except then you look at a guy like Aaron Baddeley, and he wins on tour with a shorter swing. So I guess the argument is which one's right and which one's wrong, and the answer is that there is no right or wrong. They're just different. When I talk to my students about it, I tell them, I say, your backswing is your backswing, and don't get too worried about it. If you bring the club to here and you fire it through, fine. And if you bring it a little bit longer, fine. That has to do with everybody's own flexibility and their own ability to turn their body, and how much flexibility they have, and things like that. So I just wanted to show that you can hit high quality iron shots with a shorter swing. Something not a lot of people know, and I'd say even some instructors don't realize sometimes, is that when you're hitting from a short extended position, you'll actually create more power than if you allow this left arm or elbow to break down. What happens a lot of times is people will allow this elbow to break down, and they'll create a fourth, or rather a third lever. And what will end up happening is, and I'll try and draw this in here, but what will happen is the arm will be here, the elbow will bend here, and then this angle here will happen here, and it'll actually go there. And they think that they're past parallel or they have a long swing, but what ends up happening is they throw that elbow back this way, and they extend and they cast that club outward, away from their head, away from their body. And you can also see here that they have less room between their arms and their hands and their head than they do when they're extended. So making sure that that left arm is straight is very important. Making sure that you're extended and that club is pushed away from you, even at the expense of shortening the swing. You'll find that if you work on that, you work on shortening the swing, keeping that left arm straight, and extending that club head well away from you, and then at that point you're in a good position, or you're in a good spot just to turn down through that ball, just like these guys are doing here. You know, they're just bam, turning right down through the ball. They finish in a fairly normal. He finishes in a fairly normal position, but he's able to hit down through that ball, and you see how he takes a nice divot. There, he hits the ball, and then you see the divot right here flying out. Hits that ball, and you can see he's made a mark here where the divot was, or what took place rather. You'll see that having this extension, having this width. And instructors say it two different ways. Width and extension are essentially the same thing. But having this allows you just to rotate down through, and all of a sudden, you know, you're in a good spot. So something good to work on, something good to try out. Just remember, you're shortening the swing, keeping that left arm straight at the expense of a little bit more of a backswing. And then see what kind of shots you hit. See how much better you strike the ball. So a little shorter back, making sure maybe you're almost feeling like a three-quarter swing, because what you're feeling and what you're doing might be two different things, but maybe you're feeling a nice three-quarter swing and then rotating back through that golf ball. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, Dave at golfinstituteusa.com. And if you're finding me on YouTube, make sure you're checking out the website, golfinstituteusa.com. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.